blocked.
You could drive an 18-wheeler.
You could have drove an 18-wheeler through that hole, right? And I have pictures on my phone. You can go down any neighborhood over here in Hickory Creek, and you're going to see people parked on each side of the road, and there's spots just enough for you to get through there. Y'all write tickets to them?
Sometimes. And sometimes we...
Are they legally parked?
Sometimes we impound their vehicles when they're illegally parked. They're more than 18 inches from the curb, and they...
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
If
We
they're
were...
parked in front of their house along the curb line, and it's not more than 18 inches, no, Chris, we
Yeah.
do not write tickets and we do not impound them.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Well, where I parked at, where he parked at, were legal, and there was enough room for vehicles to still get through.
All I'll say is it's a two-lane road.
Yeah,
The lane that you were in and you were occupying,
yeah.
would you agree was blocked?
That lane was, yes.
Okay, and the lane that the other vehicle was in, that it occupied, in the opposite direction, would you agree that it was blocked?
Yes.
The roadway was blocked.
But they wouldn't.
I'm not saying that they're like this, but at different places, at different times, in different intervals, the roadway was blocked, if you watch the video.
But that's not illegal.
Under penal code.
Mhm.
But if there's a shoulder of road, you can get off the road. If there's no shoulder or anything out there to get out of the
Well,
road.
let's just stop just for a minute.
Right.
Let's just stop for this a
No,
minute and get
done,
back.
gone.
Let's get back to this. Under normal conditions, you're just out there, you're moving cows. You know, it's not necessarily technically legal, but it's not really hurting anything either.
Nobody cares.
I don't think anybody's gonna really care under normal conditions that you're out there doing that. But when we have a fire going, and we got fire trucks going this way and that would be existential circumstances. So, I think that he probably should have come to you differently than he did.
Yeah.
You know, I think if I'd have come out there, probably wouldn't have had any issue, because I say, guys, can y'all get out of the way, please? We're trying to get.
We were actually getting ready to leave.
I know.
We were actually, I was in my truck, I just got my truck, was reading a text message, getting ready to leave when it
I
happened.
get it, man. I'm a farmer
The
too.
attitude
You know,
problem is what everybody's talking about.
I know. That's kind of all the rest of this stuff is just kind of eating away at the edges, and I understand what you're saying. But the bottom line is, the guy came out there and acted like a jerk. But I understand he was trying to get y'all out of the way. He just went about it the wrong way to do it. Whether or not that was because it was Chris Moses or anybody else, I don't know under those circumstances.
Yeah, funny
It's
thing,
possible that it was. I don't know. I can't say yes or no. I'm not in his head.
the funny thing about it is we were all by our vehicles. He left his
Well, you were
vehicle.
in your vehicle.
I was in my vehicle. They were by theirs. And his son, when the white truck was like near the back of his truck in the video. But Pettit got out, said what he said, and then he walked to the very back of Dr. Ides' property, which is 100 yards back, and left his vehicle blocking a lane in the road. Yeah, he's an emergency vehicle, I get that. But if the fire apparatus was trying to get through, why did you leave your vehicle where you couldn't move it? You know, you're 100 yards away.
I understand.
So,
I'm not
and
arguing. I'm
and
not arguing.
yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm just getting to the point.
Yeah.
Solution.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I just want to know, how do we get everybody back on the same page?
Right.
You know, because it's six one way, half dozen other. Were you right? Were you wrong? I don't really
Yeah.
care. I just want everybody to treat
Yeah.
everybody the way they should be treated.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to two of the Texas Rangers that have to do with the livestock stuff. And, you know, in this deal here, he says it doesn't apply because it's not a state highway, farm to market, blah, blah.
I know.
You
So
know.
technically
Yeah.
it wasn't right, but
But-
nobody's going to
But
care under normal
their thing was, unless there's a city ordinance against it, which I don't know of one, of moving cows across the roadway, he said, y'all didn't do anything illegal. He said, the law was put in place because there were situations where farmers were moving cows across farm to market state roads and all that. They even both suggested, say, hey, if the Red Oak PD has a problem with us moving cows across the road, we need to call them every time and have them come out there and block the road for us so we can do it.
Well,
You know?
and at no point in that video does he ever tell you can't move your cows.
Yeah.
He never says that.
Yeah,
He just says you can't block the road.
yeah,
And the only reason he said that is because he was told by the fire department, make sure the road's open so the fire truck can get here.
yeah. Not in the video.
Well,
In the video, he goes up to the fire chief and ask about going over to Dr. Idy's place to make sure the place is clear. Fire chief's like, well, I don't know. He flies in his helicopter or something like that. I got the video. I can bring it up. That's what was said. He wasn't ordered to go around and make sure the road was clear.
He was dispatched as a unit for traffic control.
That's why
Yeah.
he was out there in the first
His
place.
Yeah.
job is to make sure
Yeah.
the road's open for the inbound
Yeah.
apparatus that's
Yeah.
been summoned from mutual aid
Yeah.
from other agencies.
Which you and I discussed why were they so close to the fire anyway. They should have been up at the intersections. You know,
Ideally, but
yeah, because we had vehicles coming down
a lot
and
of
they wouldn't
times they
recognize.
have to get there to
Yeah.
figure out where it's
Yeah.
at. So,
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah,
let's get out of the little detaily stuff
Yeah.
and just, how do we solve this? Because the solution is not in the details.
Yeah.
The solution is people.
Just change the
It's
attitude
people.
to everybody, that's
Yeah.
what we gotta do.
well,
That's
and
that's it.
yeah,
I'm trying to do that.
You're forgive me, but the way I see it, now watching the video more than a couple times.
Oh, I've watched.
And the thing that hurts me the most is seeing an officer do it live on a video and get sometimes backed up by a superior, you know, saying that he is right for what he did or what he said, and then if nothing is done, it's just a circle that keeps rolling, rolling
I understand.
until
Yeah.
the next time, until the next event, until the next event.
I understand,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily agree that anybody lied. Like what Chris was saying, he didn't say that to Chris. He didn't say he said that to Chris. He just said, I said. He was talking
Well,
about
it
he was
wasn't-
up there with Chris.
yeah. But
He could have been saying, I do it all the time.
but there was exaggeration in the
myself.
conversation.
To
for sure.
myself, I said such and such.
Yeah.
He didn't say I said this to Chris.
Yeah, but it portrayed it that way. You read the video. Yeah,
You could see it that way.
Yeah.
Somebody else could see it different.
I don't know. You ought to see
I
the
do
comments on
because
that
I
other
saw
video.
I do it because I
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a
Yeah.
truck driver, and the way I see on the video, and the way I heard the officer, I don't even know his name, really, saying that the road was blocked, or it was blocking the road, that is totally different. And the same situation that an officer approached to me in Walmart and said, "Why are you parking over here?" There is a difference of standing and parking. And I know that that it's very, one thing is very, it doesn't correlate with the other. And, you know, I probably said he lied. Well, he exaggerated.
But also in the video, y'all said you blocked the road.
We did. I'm not going to deny that. We did. But what happened
But
was
it
is
wasn't like this.
we got out like this.
You weren't like this
No,
blocking the road.
no. What
You
I'm
were like this.
no. What I'm saying is where my truck was at, I got out in the other lane and stood like this as the cows were coming. It was 20 to 60 seconds long that it was. We did that. It was. Well, how many head was that? 20.
Yeah.
20 head. He went into Dr. Idy's property, shook a bag of food, whistled at him with an ATV, went across the road. They went running. It was literally 60 seconds and we were like this. That's it.
I get it.
You know,
I get
and-
it. But I also saw on the video that as soon as you moved, and you did,
Yeah,
the other guy hadn't moved yet.
yeah,
On the right, I don't even know who that
Yeah.
was.
Red truck,
no, your sons,
I
the
don't
white
know.
one, yeah,
I don't
he
care.
was down there in
Yeah.
his truck getting out of the way.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I don't care
Yeah.
who it was. Doesn't matter. But that truck was still here. You had moved.
yeah. Then I parked
Two
behind him.
cars- Two cars had to wait until that happened before they could come around.
Well, what
Now,
it was
the police
is-
car was here too.
Yeah, what it was is that red truck was backing out, and that's what stopped him up there.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. You couldn't go.
Squad car, to tell you the truth.
He was on there
after all
too.
this, no, he was on down there around the S curve where nobody could see him. After this happened,
I'm
that
talking.
was whenever we come on back down there to talk to the sergeant.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was down there across the street, blocked the whole road
Yep.
around the S curve, where if anybody would come this way, there's no way nobody could get through. You
Right.
talking about somebody blocking the road?
Well, they were intentionally blocking the road.
Well, he should have been back up there.
I
on
don't
Bob's
disagree
Drive,
Yeah.
with you.
blocking traffic way back there.
I don't
There's
disagree
no
with
other
you.
way to come through there. That's
You're
why
probably
Redmond
right.
turned around in Dr. Idy's and
Yeah.
backed out and left.
Yep. And then also, as soon as
Yeah.
Pettit turned around and started out, you could see the fire truck coming through. So the fire truck, just as soon as he was leaving, the fire truck was coming through.
Yeah,
So there
we'd
were
already,
fire trucks coming
yeah.
in and out while y'all were there.
When-
Now, you
when
didn't
I was there.
necessarily stop them from going
no,
through.
there wasn't a fire truck come by us at all. I was actually almost about to turn on my street when it came.
No, they didn't, because I saw it on video. I mean, he had just left. He was banking out when I think it was,
You watched the full video?
I watched a full video.
Okay,
I watched
because we were
all
already
the-
gone.
I watched a bunch of full
Yeah,
videos.
we were already gone at that
But
point.
you hadn't have been gone, you were not in the street.
Yeah,
You weren't parked right there. But I
Yeah.
don't know where you had gone because he had
I'd already
turned around
left.
and the camera had left.
yeah,
But it was as he was leaving, here comes a truck to come through. So I just want to get to the point, and I understand what you're saying. I think a lot of it is semantics. I think you say they're lying. I don't necessarily think so. Did they exaggerate? Maybe a little bit. Was the entirety of the road blocked? Not by one person. A vehicle could potentially have gotten through there. But the thing I see is none of this, any of this, would not have occurred had he simply got out of the car
yep,
and talked to you
yep,
professionally and say, hey, here's what we got going on. Can we do this?
I agree, 100%.
yeah.
If that would have happened,
Mhm.
nothing else.
We would have told him, hey, we're wrapping it up anyway.
Exactly.
You know?
Which was the crux of
Exactly.
our conversation and the discipline that he received.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it was, but somebody actually, when he got out and said, what are y'all doing? Somebody tried to answer.
Yeah, they answered, I answered, and then
But-
he kept
but
up,
then
and
he
I
kept
said, stop the
cutting-
attitude.
He cut, whoever this other person was, he cut him off and said, y'all can't block the road, you know. So he just got out in a
Say,
bad
what the hell are y'all
attitude.
doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't disagree
I mean,
with it.
that sounds like a bad attitude to start with right there. but
I know.
You know, that's all we're asking, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, treat us, you know, everybody alike. I mean, we ain't criminals.
I think what Chief is trying to do, because I tell you what, I've heard a lot of them comment about it too. And I don't hear many comments from PD very often, but I've heard from some of them about this, and it is rattling around in their minds that this is not something that is acceptable.
Yeah. So, let me ask you a question, Chief. Do you know about my charges I had back 25 years ago? Todd does. Right? I got accused of indecent exposure with a 14-year-old. Spent $80,000 trying to fight this thing. We ran out of money to keep fighting. So the DA came and offered a plea deal. I turned it down. And then over the weekend, my family, my wife, convinced me to take the plea deal of no contest plea, 2 years probation, and then non-adjudicated, right? So during the time Eston and Dwayne were doing their little thing, they looked that stuff up and they sent that out to everybody, including him, including the other chief, including the mayor,
Remember I told
including
you about
him,
our letter?
him. All of them got letters in the mail.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood,
Yeah, it
from
was
Pratt to
individual
Nokomis,
people.
got
wasn't
it.
just
They mailed it to them.
individuals.
I sued them for slander and I won that lawsuit.
I should have kept that.
So, I did what I had to do for my family at the time because there was no choice. I didn't have any more money to fight it, you know. So I did what I felt I had to do, and my family's pressured me to do, and everything. But I'm a good person, and most recently, I'm sure you know about this. It's been maybe 3-4 years now. My granddaughter and her mother lived at our house for a year. Her dad got out of prison on parole for drug trafficking. She wanted to move back to her mom's house because her dad couldn't move back to his wife's house because she was a drug addict and he would be in violation of parole. So he moved back into his ex-wife's house, which is where my granddaughter's grandmother. And she moved back over there, and during the time she was there, I was still doing the same thing I'd always done with my granddaughter, picked her up after school, took care of her till her mom got off work. And then we took her on vacation with us. Even though she moved back to her parents' house, we took her on vacation. We went to Chicago for a week, came back. Don't know what why the reason was. Maybe they were jealous we had a relationship with her, and